Welcome to Rare Coins History, where hidden treasures come to life and ordinary coins turn into. If you enjoyed discovering these rare and valuable Jefferson Nickel coins, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Thanks with love for watching, and subscribe for more rare coin secrets. Fortunes. Coin 1. Today's journey takes us deep into the fascinating world of United States 5-cent coins, focusing on one piece that most people overlook, yet collectors quietly hunt for: the 1985 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark. At first glance, this coin looks simple. You may have held one, spent one, or even ignored one without a second thought. But behind its quiet appearance lies a world of rare errors, limited variations, and surprising value that continues to grow every year. The Jefferson Nickel was introduced in 1938 to honor Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers. By 1985, millions of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint, marked by the small letter D on the reverse side near Monticello. Most were meant for daily use, but a small number were struck with special characteristics that turned them into collector treasures. What makes the 1985 D Jefferson Nickel so exciting is not just its age, it is the mistakes. In the coin world, errors create rarity. And rarity creates value. Some 1985 D nickels were struck with weak or missing details on Monticello. The steps leading up to Jefferson's home are supposed to be sharp and clear. But in certain coins, these steps appear faint, broken, or doubled, and collectors call the rare perfect ones full steps coins. When those steps appear crisp and complete, the value of the coin increases dramatically. Even more exciting are double die errors. On some examples, the letters of Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or even Jefferson's profile appear doubled as if the coin was stamped twice, slightly out of alignment. These tiny details may look like flaws to the average person, but to collectors they are gold. Another rare variation includes off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned on the coin, leaving part of the metal blank. These dramatic-looking nickels are among the most desirable error coins in the hobby. Some 1985 D nickels also show unusual metal flow lines, die cracks, or clipped planchets where part of the coin is missing due to a minting mistake. Each error tells a story of the moment that coin was born inside the U.S. Mint. Collectors love these coins because they represent history frozen in metal, a mistake that slipped through quality control and traveled into everyday life, and the condition matters greatly. A heavily worn nickel may only be worth a little more than face value. But one that looks fresh, shiny, and untouched, especially with full steps or error features, can reach incredible prices. Coin grading services carefully inspect these nickels, ranking them from worn to mint state. The higher the grade, the higher the value climbs. This is why many collectors carefully search through old jars, inherited collections, and even rolls from the bank, hoping to discover a hidden 1985 D treasure. What makes this hobby so exciting is that these coins are still out there. Someone, somewhere, may be holding a valuable Jefferson Nickel right now without knowing it. Imagine finding a coin that once bought candy now worth hundreds or even thousands. That thrill is what keeps collectors searching every day. The 1985 D Jefferson Nickel reminds us that history isn't only in museums, it can be hiding in your pocket. So next time you see a 5-cent coin, look closer, check the date, look for the D mint mark, study the steps on Monticello, search for doubling or strange shapes, because one small detail could turn ordinary change into a collector dream. Now let's talk about value. In normal circulated condition, most 1985 D nickels are only worth a small premium above 5 cents, but high-grade full steps examples in mint condition have sold in the real market for several $100s. Rare double die or major error coins have reached values in the thousands of dollars. Sparkles. Coin 2. Today's episode takes us into one of the most misunderstood yet secretly powerful coins in American history, the 1974 Jefferson 5-cent coin with no mint mark. A coin millions of people have spent without realizing some versions are now worth serious money. At first look, this nickel seems ordinary. Thomas Jefferson's calm profile rests on the front, while Monticello stands proudly on the back. But behind this simple design lies a world of rare strikes, hidden minting mistakes, and collector demand that has grown stronger with every passing year. In 1974, Jefferson nickels without mint marks were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. During this time, the U.S. Mint was pushing massive production numbers to meet everyday demand. Speed was more important than perfection, and that is exactly how rare errors were born. Some coins left the mint with incredibly sharp details, while others escaped with dramatic flaws that today make collectors eager to pay high prices. One of the most valuable features on this coin is known as full steps. On Monticello, the staircase should show 5 to 6 clear lines. Because of worn dies and rushed production, most 1974 nickels have weak or blurred steps. But when a coin appears with all steps crisp and complete, it becomes extremely rare. Collectors prize these examples because they show the design exactly as the artist intended. Even more exciting are double die errors. On some 1974 nickels, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled. Jefferson's profile may also show a shadow effect along the face and hair. This happens when the die shifts during the stamping process, creating two impressions instead of one. These doubled features can be subtle, but once seen, they cannot be unseen. Off-center strikes are another thrilling discovery. Some coins were not properly aligned during striking, leaving part of the coin blank while the design is pushed to one side. These dramatic-looking nickels often catch instant attention at coin shows and auctions. Collectors have also discovered clipped planchets where a curved piece of metal is missing from the coin's edge. These occur when the metal sheet was incorrectly cut before striking. Each clipped nickel is unique, making it even more desirable. Die cracks, where thin raised lines appear across the surface, are another sign of a worn or damaged mint die. While many cracks are minor, some form large dramatic patterns that collectors love. What makes the 1974 no mint mark nickel so exciting is that these rare varieties can still be found in everyday change. People unknowingly spend them every day. Some collectors have found valuable examples inside old jars, inherited collections, and even freshly rolled coins from the bank. The thrill is real. Anyone can find one. Condition plays a huge role in value. A heavily worn coin may be worth only a small premium. But a bright, clean, sharply struck example can multiply in price many times over. Professional grading services examine these nickels under magnification, assigning grades that directly affect market value. The difference between an average coin and a high-grade one can mean the jump from a few cents to hundreds or even thousands. This is why serious collectors carefully study every detail. They know treasure hides in the smallest imperfections. Beyond money, these coins represent moments in American minting history, proof of human error and industrial speed colliding inside the U.S. Mint. Each rare nickel tells a story. A story of a machine slightly out of line. A worker rushing production. A die cracking under pressure, and that tiny mistake becoming today's collector prize. Now let's talk about value. In normal circulated condition, most 1974 no mint mark Jefferson nickels are worth only slightly more than face value, but high-grade full steps examples in near-perfect condition have sold in the real market for several $100s. Rare double die errors and major mint mistakes have reached values in the thousands of dollars. Coin 3. Today we dive into one of the most mysterious and exciting coins of modern American coinage, the 1965 Jefferson 5-cent coin with no mint mark. A simple-looking nickel that many people still ignore, yet certain examples are now among the most searched and valuable coins in collector circles. 1965 was a special year in U.S. mint history. America was facing a nationwide coin shortage, and to solve it, the mint removed mint marks from all circulating coins for several years. This means every 1965 Jefferson nickel was struck without a mint mark, making them harder to trace, and creating conditions where rare errors quietly slipped into circulation. Millions were produced in Philadelphia, but speed was the priority. The machines ran day and night, striking coins faster than ever before. When speed increases, mistakes happen, and those mistakes are exactly what collectors hunt today. One of the most valuable features on this coin is known as full steps. The steps of Monticello on the reverse should show strong, clean lines. Because of heavy production and worn dies, most 1965 nickels have weak or flat steps. But when a coin appears with 5 or 6 sharp steps clearly visible, it becomes a rare prize. These high-detail strikes are among the most valuable Jefferson nickels of the decade. Another thrilling discovery is the double die variety. Some 1965 nickels show doubling on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and Jefferson's face. This happens when the coin die shifts during stamping, creating overlapping images. Under magnification, the letters look thick, doubled, or shadowed, a dream find for collectors. Off-center strikes are also highly prized. These coins were not aligned properly when struck, leaving part of the blank metal visible while the design is pushed to one side. The more dramatic the off-center effect, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors have also found clipped planchets where a curved section of metal is missing from the edge. These unusual shapes instantly stand out and command strong prices. Die cracks and die breaks are another sign of rarity. As mint dies wore out under extreme pressure, cracks formed across the surface, leaving raised lines on the coin. Some cracks grow so large they form dramatic patterns that look like lightning bolts across Monticello or Jefferson's portrait. What makes the 1965 no-mint mark nickels so exciting is that many of these rare examples are still out there. They hide in old piggy banks, they sit in forgotten drawers, they pass through cash registers every day, and someone, somewhere, is holding a valuable coin without knowing it. Condition is everything in the coin world. A worn nickel may only be worth slightly more than 5 cents. But one with bright surfaces, sharp details, and rare features can skyrocket in value. Professional grading services carefully examine these coins, assigning them grades that reflect preservation and strike quality. Even a small jump in grade can mean a huge jump in value. Collectors love this era of nickels because it represents a turning point in U.S. minting history, a time when production pressure created some of the most fascinating error coins ever made. Each 1965 nickel tells a story. A story of speed. A story of mistakes. A story of hidden treasure. Now let's talk about value. In normal circulated condition, most 1965 no-mint mark Jefferson nickels are worth only a small premium above face value, but high-grade full steps examples in mint condition have sold in the real market for several $100s. Rare double die varieties and major error coins have reached values in the thousands of dollars. Coin 4. Every coin has a secret, and today's secret hides inside one of the most common-looking nickels in America, the 1975 Jefferson 5-cent coin with the D mint mark. At first glance, this coin appears ordinary. Millions passed through hands at grocery stores, gas stations, and school lunches. Yet among those millions exist rare versions that collectors now chase with passion, coins born from minting mistakes, exceptional strikes, and hidden features that separate common change from valuable treasure. The 1975 D Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint during a period of intense production. The U.S. Mint was focused on speed to keep up with demand, often using worn dies and pushing machines to their limits. When metal meets pressure at that level, imperfections occur, and those imperfections are what transform simple nickels into collector gold. One of the most valuable traits collectors look for on this coin is the full steps designation. On the reverse side, Monticello's staircase should show crisp, clean lines. But in 1975, most nickels were struck with soft, blurry steps because the dies were worn. When a coin appears with 5 or 6 clear uninterrupted steps, it becomes extremely rare. These sharply struck examples are some of the most sought-after modern Jefferson nickels. Another exciting variety is the double die error. Some 1975 D nickels display doubling on the lettering of Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and even along Jefferson's face and hairline. This doubling occurs when the die shifts slightly during striking, stamping 2 impressions instead of 1. Under magnification, the effect looks like thickened or shadowed letters, a thrilling discovery for any collector. Off-center strikes are also found among this year's nickels. These happen when the coin blank is not properly centered in the press, leaving part of the design missing while the rest is pushed to one side. Dramatic off-center coins are rare and often fetch strong prices. Collectors have also discovered clipped planchets on 1975 D nickels, where a curved section of metal is missing from the edge. These occur when metal sheets overlap during cutting, producing unique shapes that instantly catch attention. Die cracks and die breaks appear as raised lines running across the surface of the coin. These are signs of damaged dies that continued striking coins until replaced. Some cracks form fascinating patterns that collectors prize for their uniqueness. what makes the 1975 Jefferson Nickel especially exciting is that many valuable examples are still in circulation today. They hide in old jars, they sit in family collections, they pass through cash registers every hour. Anyone could find one. And that possibility is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. Condition is a major factor in value. A worn nickel that has lost its detail may be worth only a small premium. But a brilliant uncirculated coin with sharp features and rare characteristics can be worth many times more. Professional grading services carefully examine these coins, rating their condition and confirming special designations like full steps or error varieties. High-grade examples are where the real money lies. Collectors love the 1970s nickels because they represent a time when production pressure created some of the most interesting mint errors in modern U.S. coinage. Each coin tells a story of speed, steel, and chance. A tiny shift in a machine. A worn piece of metal. A moment that created rarity. Now let's talk about value. In normal circulated condition, most 1975 Jefferson nickels are worth only slightly more than 5 cents, but high-grade full steps examples in mint condition have sold in the real market for several $100s. Rare double die varieties and dramatic error coins have reached values in the thousands of dollars. At auction, some of the finest known 1975 Jefferson nickels have shocked collectors by selling for prices comparable to a small used car. And in exceptional cases even more. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden world of rare Jefferson nickels, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Thanks with love for watching, and subscribe to Rare Coins History for more rare coin secrets, valuable discoveries, and fascinating history waiting to be found.